Alrighty, guys. Today I'm going to run you through one of the biggest regrets that I had when building our company. For those who don't know, we started with like 27 members. We built all the way up to 1,200, which I was incredibly proud of. But there was one thing that when I sold my three businesses that I really regretted down the line. And that was during the scaling phase of our companies. When we initially started out, we would pay ourselves a salary of $40,000, right? Then what we did is over time is we built it up to an $80,000 salary. Once we had like one singular location, it was doing quite well and things like that. Then for some reason, like you've got to always take ownership of this stuff, right? But it was a little bit of like bad accounting advice, essentially, probably not the correct business advice for, how you actually build wealth. Is we dropped our salaries, my business partner and I, back to $40,000. So I want you to imagine this, but by the end of our journey, right, we had a $2.5 million company, like 3 gyms, and we we're paying ourselves an annual salary of $40,000. And it doesn't really make sense, right? And I really, really regret it. And the reason why I regret it is because there was decisions that we made when on that salary, right, that I really wish that when I sold my companies, right, that we actually took more money out of the business. And it goes into that old, saying where it's like, pay yourself first, right? And, I'm really actually glad that I learned this at a pretty young age. Like at the moment, I'm only like 31 years old. I'll definitely, rather learn it at age 31 than at age 41, that's for sure. And I just see so many people and all business owners, but especially fitness business owners, like paying themselves like a really low salary and focusing on like the profits in the business. When you really weigh it up, if you're running a business and you've got some marketing skills, some sales skills, like really good like fitness experience, right? At a minimum, right, gym owners should be getting paid a salary of like $80,000 once your gym's up and running and everything's going really well. And I actually learned this like really, really well off my friend named Dan Henderson. He's a really amazing gym owner, also like a really cool business coach as well. And I'm not going to say what he earns, but he has progressively increased his income over the years. And when I used to kind of talk to him about what we earn, and I was like, honestly, guys, I thought it was like a badge of honor. Do you know how you hear stuff of, the Facebook owners getting paid $0 and things like that? And it's just, I'm not sure why I was so proud of it, but I was like, I'm sacrificing for the growth of the companies. And when I look back on it, like, what would have happened is our company still would have grown. We still would have had 3 locations, but just my financial situation during those years would have been very, very different. Right. And then we got into this phase because like I lived in Sydney, right? So it was like very, very difficult to live on like $40,000. So then we started to run a lot of business expenses, like a lot of expenses through the company, right? Because we weren't paying ourselves the correct salary. And that caused like a little bit of mismanagement with the books and things like that. Like our books weren't incredibly clear. And I'm all for like running things through the business, right? But you want to make sure that everything you're running through is business expenses. And we had, I'm not going to say publicly, but we're doing like a couple of funny things, like getting gift vouchers for our shopping, running all our travel through the business and things like that. And when you're like looking at bank accounts, because there was some times like in our bank accounts where we had like, $700,000-800,000, right? When in reality, I was making a couple of decisions, especially with like travel and things that I was purchasing, and I was basing it on what was in the business account, right? When really what I should have been doing, guys, and what I want everyone to do if you're doing this, is pay yourself a salary of 80, 100, 120K and live off that and run all your personal expenses through what you're actually earning and taking home, rather than just like using your business like a country club, which I definitely did for many, many years. So guys, one of my biggest regrets was definitely not paying myself fair market value, and also for my business partner, not paying him fair market value. I don't think, having that money in the business made us open, 3 facilities any differently than what we would if we actually paid ourselves first. So guys, what I want you to do from here, right, is firstly, have a think about what you're earning at the moment, what you're actually taking home, not what the business is profiting. Hopefully you're paying yourself a salary. If not, we need to start there. And, you want to progressively increase your salary every quarter. right? Until you earn what is fair market value for a gym manager. So if you think about like a really, really talented gym manager, because if you're an owner operator in your clubs, right, you're running sessions, you're doing sales, you're doing marketing, then you're actually a gym manager, right? And you'll be looking at like a base salary initially of like 55 to 65,000. And then obviously as you get more skilled and your business grows, that will progressively increase, right? It'll go to 70 to 80 to 90 to 100 if you're running like a really, really successful business. So I want you guys to make sure that you're paying yourselves first. And just know that in business, our businesses can end, right? We can go really well, they can finish. There's going to be a time that you sell it just like me. And I don't want you to get into a position where you have underpaid yourself for so long. And then when you sell your gyms, right, you're relying on this amazing kind of exit price, which I didn't get when I sell my gyms. Like I was very, very lucky. I got like a really good amount, but it wasn't like a life-changing exit amount, right? Even though I had 3 facilities because I sold to my business partners and things like that. So when I look back on it, I was like, wow, I really wish for those years that I paid myself like a true reflection of a salary, because I would be in a different financial situation to where I am today. So guys, what you need to do from here, right? If you the kind of like make sense, with what I said, and you're like, hey, I really want to earn what you're fucking worth, right? And that's the really big thing. The first thing, guys, you have to build yourself up. If you're working full-time within your business, you have to build yourself up to paying yourself a salary, right? You might start in the position that I did. You might start at 40K a year. You might start at 50. You might start at 60, right? Wherever you start, that's okay. Because what I want you to do is to focus on increasing your salary every 3 months. It might be a 2K bump. It might be a 5K. It might be 10K. Right? Until you work up to that salary that a really, really good professional business manager like yourself would earn, which would be around that 75 to 100K mark, right? Then you have your profits on top, but you don't want to have a business. It doesn't make sense, right? If you're underpaying yourself massively and your businesses are really highly profitable, it's kind of like a false metric. Okay. So you need to focus on paying yourselves first. And then when we talk about dividends and drawings, so I want to cover that. So the first gym I ran, the big one I talk about, had like 500 members. We were absolutely shocking at that. And I'm not going to go into like too much, but it was really bad accounting advice. You got to be super careful who you get advice from in these situations. So we barely drew money through that, and we ran it like a country club. We put our cars through it. We put like heaps of other auxiliary expenses that aren't business expenses through that account. And I do really regret it. And I don't want you to run your businesses like a country club. Now, in the second business, right, the second gym we ran, we got it a little bit better. We took quarterly drawings, right? So every quarter we took drawings. But in the third one, we really nailed it. And this is how, if I opened a facility again, and this is what I recommend, would be how you do it. So firstly, you need to have a bank of capital, okay, which is 3 months working capital in the business. So just so you know, for our third gym, that was $80,000. So we knew that we would have all our tax offset accounts. So for BAS and, superannuation and things like that, that was already put away in a safe account. And then we had our 3 months working capital. So then what we would do, there was 3 business partners in that business. It might just be yourself. Anything over that $80,000 mark that was in, we would draw that every single month. Now, the real benefits for that was, guys, and where I knew I got it right, and where I kind of knew in the first and second gym we didn't hit it, is it's fucking super motivational getting paid money for all the hard work you're doing. I remember there was months would get like 5K dividends, 7K dividends. Other months would be 3, right? So then you'd look at it and you'd go, okay, cool. Fuck, last month I got 7. And a couple of months ago, I got 3. What do we need to do to make sure we get these 7K dividends as the 3 business partners getting 7K each, right? It would keep us really, really inspired and motivated every single month, because we were extracting this money out of the third gym. And it worked. The third gym by far was the best in terms of how much money we were taking out of it and how well that one ran, right? Because we're always focused on actually getting that money, and we'll take it into our trusts and things like that. Not going to go into how you take money out. That's what you need a really good accountant for. You can always reach out to me. I recently changed accountants, and I must say the new accountant that we have is a fucking absolute weapon. I really wish that I was working with him like 3 and 4 years ago, that's for sure. So guys, what you need to do from here, right? I want you to map out, firstly, what is your take home salary, right? What are you paying yourself every week, every fortnight, every month, however you do it, right? Then I want you to know, want you to identify, right? If you shut down your business, right? And you got a job, say at another business, say at, another gym in Sydney to manage it, what would you be getting paid for that role? What would you be getting paid? And it would be in between that 55K mark and 100K mark, depending on how big the business is. Then what we want to do is systematically grow your business, right, in a nice, seamless fashion. So then you can get your take home salary, right? You can get your mortgages, you're not having to run your business like a country club, and you can live nice and securely. And then everything on top of that becomes profit. Then when you want to do your drawings, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can do it quarterly. I prefer monthly, right? I really like taking monthly drawings. It was very, very motivational for me. I found I was very, very inspired to do that when we did it really well. But whenever you take drawings out, guys, you want to make sure that you have 3 months working capital plus all your tax and superannuation and things like that put into a side account. Then what you'll need to do is make sure you talk to an accountant. They'll tell you we're taking 60% of everything over it. So we had everything all put aside. And then that way you have your salary. Hopefully we work you up to a salary of, $80,000 to $100,000 a year. And then you're taking your monthly drawings on top of that. And then any extra profit that's in there, that's how you know what you can reinvest into the business. And then it's going to cut those dumb decisions out where, maybe you do have to put another 10K into the business, but you're taking that out of your personal, right? And you can put it back in as a deposit to the business, and it changes the whole way that you make decisions. Because I made some really, really poor decisions, as I said, because there were times in our business where we had like $700,000-$800,000 in our business, which forced me to make stupid decisions because I thought I was like a millionaire. And like when you have money in there and there's so much money, it's like, oh, cool, 5K here, 10K here, 15K here. It's all good, right? When you make your decisions on, hey, I want to take home this amount, your 80K a year, plus your monthly drawings, you might go, okay, cool. Well, at the moment, I have $2,000 to $3,000 to reinvest in your business. You make different decisions, you make smarter decisions, and you're also making sure that you're setting yourself up so that you have enough income so that you would live. When you look at it in comparison, that if you got a full-time job, right, you will be earning that same money that if you got a full-time job, which I don't think many gym owners are doing. And I know even myself, guys, I didn't do that incredibly well. And I just want you guys to never make the same mistakes that I did. So let's pay ourselves first. Let's make sure, that you start off with a salary and you're progressively increasing it every 3 months, every 6 months, until you work up to that amount that you're getting paid your true market value compared to if you just got a job doing the same role in another gym. And if you guys do that incredibly well, you're not going to make that big mistake that I made when I tried to cash out of my gyms, where I kind of regretted for those, 3-4 years just paying myself 40K when I really should have been paying myself, 100, 120, maybe even 150 towards the end. But I'm presenting this to you guys so you don't make the same mistakes. And guys, if you ever have any questions, if you ever want to reach out to me, probably the best place to find me is on Instagram, Jimmy_Pomponio. You can ask me any questions about any of the content that I produce with you guys there. I just really hope you have a really amazing day. And I hope this gives you something to think about what you're paying yourself this month, but then what you'll be paying yourself in 12 months. As your business grows, your income should increase with that.